Once you figure all that out and it becomes whole and perfect and one, it becomes bored because there's no more game to play. Now I know everything. Well, how boring would that be?
And welcome in, everybody, for another exciting new episode of No Fee Philosophy. My name is Scott Sagent, and I am here with my good friend James Hampton. James, thanks for being here.
It's always a pleasure, Scott. Glad to be here. Glad to be anywhere. I want to talk about the word science. I've heard so much lately about follow the science, follow the science. Science doesn't prove anything. There are two aspects to science: observation and measurement. Then there's the other aspect of interpreting the measurements and the observations. That's an art. Science does not prove anything. It's constantly trying to disprove something. And when it cannot disprove something, it becomes accepted truth. But that's only because we haven't disproved it yet.
Until it also gets disproved.
Exactly.
Which is what things have always...
So there is no settled science, like I've heard this term. The science is settled. No, it is never settled. And the purpose of science is to always question. And I despise this attitude that people have. Well, that's settled science. No, it's not. It just hasn't been disproven yet. Science is an art as well as a strict discipline. The strict discipline is observation and measurement. The art is interpreting those things and what they mean. The observation used to be that the sun revolved around the earth because that's what we observed. That was proven wrong eventually. And there are infinite number of what we used to think, and at some point we learned better and it was proven wrong.
I mean, before that, the earth was flat. I mean, look, the sun goes, it's got to be flat. You know?
Exactly.
That was the science of the time. So what does that end up doing for reality as far as objective versus subjective reality? Is there an objective reality?
I believe that there is an objective reality.
But is it that we are just not meant to ever fully understand?
I don't believe we have the capacity. It's not that we're not meant to. I don't believe in that. I believe we just don't have the capacity to understand objective reality.
We certainly do not have the capacity. But even if we were close to having the capacity to, I almost feel like it's just ingrained in reality that it is just so mysterious and so complex that we will always have to seek. We will always have to question, and there will always be something more for us to learn.
Hopefully.
Because if not, then we would just be God ourselves, would we not?
Well, exactly. Objective reality, in order to be aware of objective reality, you'd have to know everything.
Correct.
Now, in the Hindu religion, the one becomes whole, perfect, and bored. And what it does is it splits itself up into an infinite number of different particles. And the game that it creates for itself is, who am I? All the little pieces don't know who they are. They're all part of the one. But the game is to find out, why am I here? What's it all about? Where am I going? What's the meaning of life? Well, that's what it does to entertain itself. Once you figure all that out and it becomes whole and perfect and one, it becomes bored because there's no more game to play. Now I know everything. Well, how boring would that be?
Kind of sounds like the Big Bang a little bit.
Exactly.
Splitting itself up everywhere. And I think that's also the part of how spirituality comes in there with that we're all God's children.
Absolutely.
the speck, the seed of the soul, that we are all
Spark of
conscious
divinity.
beings, that we all have a grain of God in us. We are all God's children. I think that's just another way to say the same thing.